Okay, so now I'm just going to look at a few ways to summarize climate data and look at one season relative to long-term averages. So let's look at GDDs. So this is a common way to depict growing degree days and do cumulative growing degree day comparisons from one season to the next. So this is starting in April and then going to usually to the end of October here. That's for the northern hemisphere, right? And the opposite is true for the southern hemisphere. So this is just starting at 0 and then going. You're just adding growing degree days going through the season. So to do that quickly in Excel, you've already made this pivot table. You need to get the average growing degree days by day. So right now we've got it by monthly sums here. So what you're going to do is go to your pivot table, click on in the month column there, click on one of the months, go up here to group selection, and then unclick the years, and you're going to have month and day highlighted. Click OK. All right, there it is. And then over here we can get rid of precipitation. So remove field, and just go to value field settings here on sum of GDD, and go ahead and just take the average. Okay. So there are the average GDDs for each day. Okay. So now I'll just go ahead and take this. And highlight them, copy. So now copy all of that and throw it into another sheet and paste it as a value. So right click on a cell and then go there, paste as values. Okay. And now we need to add these up to make them cumulative, right? So we're going to go like equals that cell, one equals that cell plus the cell that preceded it, and then just keep going, and it's going to start to add up, right? And there you go. So that makes sense, right? So we're talking about the Willamette Valley, and growing degree days here are somewhere in the 2200 range, right? But in reality, actually, remember we're starting from April 1st. So we're actually just going to get rid of everything before that. So we're going to start like that. Okay. And then we're going to go to the end of October. Okay. And then you can get rid of these. You got to kind of fix it a little bit because we copied over these month headings from the pivot table. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those. So now I have all the LTA. Now you have the LTAs on the other sheet. So over here we have the cumulative LTAs. So now we need LTAs for cumulative GDDs for the last 3 vintages. So what we can do now is go back to our pivot table on our in this worksheet, and then go up to the pivot table, go to Analyze, go to Group Selections, and now do it by month, day, and year. and it can be average or it can be sum. It doesn't really matter. But now let's go and find the let's just look at the last year. Let's look at the 2019 vintage for McMinnville, right? So there's 2019. We're going to take from April 1st to the end of October. Copy it, bring it over here. Paste those values, and again, just go ahead and calculate now your cumulative GDDs. Copy it and paste it there as values. Okay, we can get rid of this column. Okay. And now I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Okay, so it's that simple. So now I've got 2019 there. I could then do the same thing for 2018, 2017, right? And now to make the graph, just highlight the data set and then insert and recommended charts. And that looks right, but we need to have 2 lines. So there you go. All charts and then just lines. Oh, it's picking up. We can fix this. Let's go ahead and click on that and click OK. All right, so it is picking up the date. It's calling that date. So if we right click on this, go to select data, get rid of date, which is in there, remove that. Oh. We can fix all this. Right now we're just putting in all the data. And click OK. Okay. So there we go. So the blue line is the LTA, right, which is much smoother, of course, because that's the average. That's the way it should always look. Be sure to label your axes. So in this case, it should be labeled as, the vertical axis should be labeled as GDD parentheses base 50F. So actually, it would be better to call it probably cumulative GDD base 50F. All right. So anyways, this is kind of a nice way to look at it, because you can see, from this we can go, okay, there was a really warm spring in 2019 in Oregon, then pretty early on in spring, and then kind of leveled out a bit, and then we had a pretty warm June there, mid-June, and stayed relatively warm throughout the whole season. So 2019 was probably phenologically advanced relative to average. So bloom and veraison and harvest were probably a little bit sooner than the average. Right, so that's just one way to look at it, the data, the GDDs, and I'll show you another way to look at this data as well in the next video.